The Young and the Restless spoilers. Is Sienna facing a deadly fate in Matt's revenge plot? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates suggest that Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, might be a character facing a grim fate. Is Sienna destined to fall victim to Matt Clark, also known as Mitch Bacall, as his revenge plot unfolds in Genoa City shortly? Noah vows to keep Sienna safe, but can he? Despite Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, vowing to keep Sienna safe, it increasingly appears that he may not be able to fulfill that promise. Noah is confident in his ability to provide the protection Sienna requires, yet Genoa City could prove to be the most perilous environment for her. We understand Noah's desire to surround Sienna with Newman's security and keep her close, but he has inadvertently placed her right in the heart of the revenge zone. Victor Newman, Eric Braden, has already decimated Matt financially and taken over his nightclub, so it's clear that Matt will seek retribution. In fact, he is already devising a scheme to gain leverage over the Newmans in a surprising manner. Sienna could have escaped had she distanced herself from Noah. Sienna could have escaped if she had distanced herself from Noah, as Victor suggested. But now she finds herself waiting for Matt to seek revenge on her as well. In simpler terms, it would have been wiser for Sienna to vanish rather than tie herself to the Newmans. From Matt's viewpoint, it will appear as though Sienna is integrating into this affluent family and enjoying a life of luxury. The fact that Matt has a troubled past with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, will only exacerbate the situation. With Sienna now residing in Genoa City with Noah, Matt's anger over the affair and the collapse of his marriage is bound to intensify. Matt won't rest until Sienna is dealt with. Matt may not find peace until Sienna pays a heavy price for her infidelity, and he might take great satisfaction in making Noah witness it. In the December 10th episode of Y&R, Sienna confessed to Noah that she feels like an outsider now that she's mingling with the Newmans in GC. We'd argue that Sienna is correct, as she does seem to be an outsider to many fans, like a character designed for the Los Angeles storyline who doesn't quite belong in Genoa City. Sienna might be one of those characters, similar to Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, who is brought in to serve a specific purpose in the narrative and then eliminated for dramatic effect. Nevertheless, the Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Matt has some unsettling news in store for all his adversaries. So stay tuned for updates on the ensuing turmoil. Shockwave hits Genoa City. Is Sienna facing a deadly fate in Matt Clark's vengeful trap? The air in Genoa City is thick with fear, and at the center of the storm is the one person who never saw the true danger until it was too late, Sienna Bacall. The latest, explosive Young and the Restless spoilers scream that the past has returned with a vengeance, and Sienna, the woman who cheated on the man she knew as Mitch Bacall with Noah Newman, is now staring down the barrel of a deadly fate at the hands of the psychotic, resurrected Matt Clark. This isn't just a love triangle gone wrong. It's a terrifying culmination of decades of twisted history between Matt Clark, the Newman family, and the innocent victims caught in his web. As Matt's ultimate revenge plot against Nick and Sharon Newman unravels, the burning question on every fan's mind is, will Sienna pay the ultimate price for Matt's past torment and her own recent sins? The Unmasking. Mitch Bacall is Matt Clark, the storyline that has Genoa City and every Y&R viewer on edge began with the seemingly low-stakes affair between Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall, a married woman who was working alongside Nick at Newman Media. The forbidden passion quickly turned into a life-or-death crisis when Noah's car accident and subsequent coma forced the truth to the surface. But the real seismic shock came with the reveal of Sienna's husband's true identity. Mitch Bacall was nothing more than a carefully constructed facade for one of Nick and Sharon's most terrifying tormentors from the past, Matt Clark. For those new to the saga, Matt is a certified sociopath whose obsession with Sharon in the 90s led to rape, violence, and a decades-long game of cat-and-mouse that nearly drove Nick to murder. Now, living under an alias, Matt has returned, proving that in Genoa City, old enemies never truly die, they just wait for the perfect moment to strike. The setup: how Sienna became a pawn in a deadly game. The spoilers suggest that Sienna was never just Matt's wife. She was potentially a pawn in his elaborate, deeply disturbing revenge fantasy. Matt's target has always been Nick and Sharon Newman, the couple he tried to destroy years ago. What better way to inflict maximum pain than to infiltrate their life through their son, Noah? The affair. Did Matt deliberately push Sienna toward Noah, perhaps sensing the vulnerability in their marriage or seeing an opportunity to get close to a Newman? It seems highly likely that Matt, with his manipulative nature, either engineered the affair or at the very least allowed it to happen, knowing it would give him leverage over the entire Newman dynasty. The trap. Once Noah and Sienna were entangled, Matt sprung his trap. Noah's suspicious accident and the subsequent kidnapping of Noah and Sienna put everyone on high alert. The goal wasn't just to punish Sienna for her infidelity, though Matt's ego is certainly bruised. The true goal was to make Nick and Sharon suffer by threatening their son. Sienna's fatal miscalculation. Sienna's love for Noah and her genuine shock at discovering her husband's monstrous identity is what places her in the most danger. She tried to confront him, to reason with him, and even threatened to expose him to the authorities. For a narcissist like Matt Clark, this is the ultimate betrayal. He sees her not as a wife, but as a treacherous tool that must be discarded or destroyed. The deadly showdown. Sienna's fate hangs in the balance. The latest whispers from the Genoa City set are chilling. Sienna's fate is hanging in the balance as Matt's unstable grip tightens. Spoilers point to an intense, hostage-like standoff where Matt corners the illicit lovers, Noah and Sienna, and begins to use Sienna's life as a weapon against Noah and, indirectly, against Nick and Sharon. Matt's escalating instability. Matt Clark, alias Mitch Bacall, is no longer capable of rational thought. He has been financially ruined by Victor Newman, who swooped in to protect his family and turn Matt's own business against him. Being beaten by the mustache has pushed Matt completely over the edge. A desperate villain is the most dangerous kind, and Matt is now in a hyper-paranoid state, lashing out at everyone, especially the woman he blames for his current predicament. The emotional blackmail. In the terrifying confrontation, Matt forces Noah to the brink, demanding a confession about the affair and threatening to take Sienna's life if he doesn't comply. This moment isn't just about truth. It's a sadistic power play. Noah's confession. Will Noah confess to his father's old tormentor to save Sienna? If he does, it will rip apart his relationship with Allie or whoever he was with, and his parents' fragile peace, giving Matt the emotional wreckage he craves. Sienna's terror. Sienna is witnessing the man she married transform into a monster from a horror movie. Her fear is palpable, realizing that her infidelity has led her straight into a psycho's deadly revenge plot. She is trapped, and her past is now dictating her very survival. The Newman rescue mission. Nick and Sharon are frantic, pushed to the edge by the thought of their son's danger. They are forced to trust Victor Newman, who is the one person capable of maneuvering against a master manipulator like Matt. Victor's plan is risky, a psychological counterattack designed to throw Matt off balance. But in the chaotic, high-stakes game of manipulation and rescue, the spoilers indicate a massive shift in the power dynamic. While Victor may be focusing on winning the war by outsmarting Matt, Sienna is the sacrificial lamb in the immediate conflict. Her history with Matt, her betrayal, makes her the most vulnerable target when Matt finally snaps. The ultimate question: is Sienna's time in Genoa City up? Soap opera history is littered with characters who are brought on for a dramatic arc only to be written off with a bang. With Matt Clark a known killer and Sienna's actress Tamara Braun having a history with the show's past, though not Y&R itself, but a connection via Days of Our Lives, the possibility of Sienna's exit, especially a deadly one, is incredibly high. Arguments for Sienna's survival. Noah's new love. Sienna's budding connection with Noah offers the Newman heir a new romantic path. If Sienna survives, she becomes the ultimate forbidden woman, a constant reminder of their ordeal and the drama that brought them together. The Newmans would have to learn to accept her into their circle, leading to more long-term conflict. Matt's ultimate weapon. Killing Sienna might be too quick an end for Matt. If she survives, traumatized and now dependent on the Newmans, Matt could use her existence to forever haunt his enemies. The Newman protection. Noah has offered Sienna refuge in Genoa City under the Newman patriarch's protection. If Victor's power fails to save her, it weakens his entire image, which the writers may want to avoid or conversely, use to fuel a Newman civil war. Arguments for Sienna's tragic death. Maximum impact. A shocking death is the highest engagement spoiler possible. If Sienna is killed by Matt, it would be the ultimate, gut-wrenching consequence of their affair and Matt's return. It would haunt Noah, Nick, and Sharon, and solidify Matt Clark's status as a top-tier villain. Closure for Matt's arc. Matt's revenge will feel incomplete unless someone pays a terrible final price. Killing his unfaithful wife is a dramatic, classic soap opera way to wrap up his initial arc of psychological terror, allowing him to either escape or be captured in a way that forever changes the Newman family. The affair's consequences. The show needs to demonstrate that this illicit affair had devastating consequences. A minor injury, or Matt simply disappearing, would lessen the impact. Sienna's death would be a tragic, final punctuation mark on Noah's betrayal and Matt's reign of terror. Today's shocking scenario, the climax. As Victor's countertrap is set, the spoilers indicate that Detective Burrow is drawn into the volatile standoff. The presence of law enforcement only makes the situation more unpredictable. Picture this. In the final moments of the episode, Matt Clark, cornered and financially ruined, realizes his carefully constructed world has crumbled. He has lost the fight against Victor, and the police are closing in. In a fit of pure, desperate rage, he grabs Sienna, his eyes burning with betrayal. Noah screams for him to stop, willing to trade his own life for hers. But Matt doesn't want Noah's life. He wants to break the Newman family. With a maniacal smile, he declares that Sienna's death is the first payment for the Newman sins. A struggle, a sharp sound, and then silence. The screen fades to black, leaving the viewers with the horrifying implication that Sienna Bacall has succumbed to a deadly fate in Matt Clark's final, psychotic act of revenge. Today's shocking news. Noah vows to keep Sienna safe, but can he? The Newman family's ticking time bomb. The gilded halls of Genoa City are echoing with the sound of a vow, a fierce, protective pledge from Noah Newman to Sienna Bacall. But in the world of high-stakes drama and dark family secrets that surrounds them, this promise is less a comfort and more a ticking time bomb. Noah, heir to the Newman Empire, has offered his shield to Sienna, a woman with a past as tangled and dangerous as the family feuds he was raised in. His words are noble, his intentions pure, but can the sheltered scion truly protect his new love from a monster who is now completely off the rails? Matt Clark? This is not just a burgeoning romance. It is a declaration of war. A clash between Noah's idealistic, protective nature and the brutal, vengeful reality of Sienna's estranged and now missing husband, who has been unmasked as the Newman family's decades-old nemesis, Matt Clark. The recent explosive events in Los Angeles, which nearly cost Noah his life, were merely the prelude. Now, with Sienna in Genoa City under the protection of the Newmans, the true chess game and the real danger has just begun. The high-stakes gambit, a Newman shield in a city of shadows. The dramatic decision to bring Sienna Bacall to Genoa City and install her within the Newman sphere is the most audacious and perhaps foolish move of Noah Newman's young life. He sees it as the ultimate sanctuary, the immovable protection of Victor Newman's vast resources, combined with the loving vigilance of his parents, Nick and Sharon. He believes that by enveloping Sienna in his family's wealth and influence, he has made her untouchable. But the Newman protective bubble is notoriously porous, especially when the threat is as personal and deeply rooted as Matt Clark. Clark is not a new enemy. He is a ghost from the past who has returned with a chilling, single-minded focus on revenge. He already targeted Noah once, leaving him in a coma after the dark revelations of his affair with Sienna. Now, financially ruined by Victor's swift retaliation and furious with Sienna for her betrayal, Clark is the most dangerous kind of villain, a cornered animal with nothing left to lose. Noah's vow, delivered with the honest passion of a man newly and deeply in love, is meant to be a comfort. Instead, it places a target squarely on Sienna's back and on his own. Matt Clark views Sienna not just as an unfaithful wife, but as the trigger that set off his own destruction. To get to her, he will have to go through the Newmans, and for a man consumed by a thirst for retribution against a family, that is not an obstacle. It is a perverse invitation. The flaw in the fortress. The key problem with Noah's plan lies in its very foundation, the Newman family itself. Sharon's distrust. Sharon Newman is perhaps Sienna's harshest and most observant critic. She knows Matt Clark's capacity for evil better than anyone. While she is grateful to Sienna for ultimately saving Noah's life, by encouraging him to leave the dark dealings in LA, she cannot shake the feeling that Sienna is a beautiful, cunning complication. Sharon is fiercely protective of her son, and her suspicion of Sienna is a looming conflict. This internal family doubt could create cracks in the protective wall, which a mastermind like Clark will exploit. Nick's complications. Nick Newman is trying to hold the line, torn between his support for his son and his own complicated feelings and history with Sienna's husband. His focus is split between managing the family's Matt Clark problem and his own turbulent personal life, making him a less-than-perfect guard dog. Noah's blind spot. Noah's feelings for Sienna are deep, but they also represent a classic Newman vulnerability, love blinding them to danger. He sees her vulnerability, his parents see her dubious past. His fierce commitment to her is a strength, but in the face of Clark's cold-blooded planning, it is also a massive, exploitable weakness. The betrayal fallout, Allie, Audra, and the crumbling romance. The most devastating shock of this new storyline isn't just the physical danger, but the emotional fallout that threatens to fracture Noah's life. His relationship with the sweet, unsuspecting Allie Abbingwin is now an acknowledged casualty of his affair with Sienna. While Allie hasn't yet returned to Genoa City to confront him, the truth hangs heavy in the air. Noah confessed to Sienna that Allie deserved better than his betrayal, but that small acknowledgement won't soften the blow when the full truth emerges. Fans are clamoring for Allie to return, not as a victim, but as a force to confront Noah face to face and call him out for his actions and his hypocrisy. Adding fuel to this fire is the lingering, explosive presence of Audra Charles. The latest reports suggest a renewed spark between Noah and Audra, the quintessential Newman drama of the good girl versus the mysterious woman from the past. Audra's connection to the LA storyline and her own intense feud with the newly reformed Claire puts her right back in the center of the Newman drama. Love triangle to love quadrilateral. If Allie returns, the simple love triangle of Noah, Allie, Sienna instantly morphs into a complex, volatile quadrilateral involving Audra. This creates multiple weak points for Matt Clark to target. He doesn't just need to hurt Sienna, he can hurt anyone Noah cares about. Allie's imminent return, or Audra's renewed interest in Noah, could easily become Clark's most effective weapon for maximum psychological damage. The unstable player, Sienna Bacall's double game. A critical question remains: how trustworthy is Sienna? Her history with Clark, his manipulation, and her own past decisions are a murky backdrop to her current role as damsel in distress. While she genuinely seems to appreciate Noah's protection and their bond is undeniably strong, her ability to make the right decisions under pressure remains unproven. She advised Claire not to go looking for trouble with Audra, displaying a street-smart caution. But her relationship with Noah itself is a massive source of trouble. Sharon's questioning of Sienna's intentions in the latest episodes is a potent reminder that the Newman women are rarely naive. Sharon is a master of separating truth from manipulation. Her scrutiny, coupled with Nick's eventual shocking discovery about Sienna, teased in previous spoilers, suggests that Sienna's past is a deep well of secrets that Noah's love has not yet plumbed. Is Sienna merely a victim seeking refuge? Or is she an active player in a dangerous game, one step ahead of Matt Clark, but 2 steps ahead of Noah? Her knowledge of Clark's operation in LA and her willingness to defy him are admirable, but they also make her an unpredictable element in Noah's plan. A true protector needs to know everything about the person they are protecting, and it's highly likely Noah is still in the dark about the full extent of Sienna's secrets. The true enemy, Matt Clark's endgame. While everyone is focused on the immediate threat, Matt Clark's disappearance and his potential return, the true danger is his strategy. Clark is not a brawler. He is a meticulous, psychological tormentor. His financial ruin by Victor was a blow, but it likely didn't crush his spirit. It simply shifted his focus from accumulating wealth to executing a perfect revenge. The power of the missing man, a missing Matt Clark, is far more terrifying than one they can track. He is now free to move in the shadows, unencumbered by a public persona. He could be anywhere, hiding in plain sight, pulling strings through an accomplice, or methodically gathering intel to strike at the moment of maximum emotional impact. Targeting vulnerability. Clark knows the Newmans' core vulnerability, their love for their children and grandchildren. He targeted Noah first because of the affair, but he won't stop there. He could turn his attention to Allie or Audra, hurting them to punish Noah and complicate his life further. The Newman/Abbott merger. Using his knowledge of the LA deal or his financial connections to undermine Victor's business, which is an attack on the family's very identity. The Newman/Sharon alliance. Creating a wedge between Noah's parents, perhaps by revealing a secret Sienna confessed to Noah, which he kept from Nick and Sharon. Noah's powerful, protective vow, "I will keep you safe," is a direct challenge. It tells Matt Clark exactly where his target is and who is guarding her. For a brilliant villain like Clark, this is not an obstacle. It is the next phase of his game. He is not just coming for Sienna. He is coming for the man who promised to protect her, determined to prove to Noah and to the entire Newman family that their power is an illusion and that their love is a fatal weakness. The verdict: can Noah keep Sienna safe? The emotional investment in this story is exceptionally high because the answer to the title's question is a resounding no, not alone. Noah's love is a beacon, but it is not a fortress strong enough to withstand the forces Matt Clark is about to unleash. The Newmans have rallied around Noah, but this is a war that requires more than wealth and a security team. It requires a deep understanding of the enemy's psychological warfare and an acceptance that the threat comes not just from outside, but from the unexamined secrets within the walls of their protective circle. Sienna holds the key to the Matt Clark mystery, and until she lays every card on the table, she remains a variable that could sabotage Noah's best intentions. The Young and the Restless spoilers Friday, December 12th. Saving Sharon. Nate's conflicted, Phyllis's fire. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Friday, December 12th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, to take measures to protect Sharon Newman, Sharon Case. Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, opens up to Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. Plus, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, lights a fire under Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers here. Kane Ashby's Bliss. Let's start with Kane, who just scored a victory with Lily. The man convinced Lily to attend the Abbott Communications launch party with him. So he will be on cloud 9 and probably thinking of the possibilities. It might be just what Kane needs to get some hope back that he can reunite his family. Read more. Find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Phyllis Summers' fire. However, Phyllis isn't going to let Kane be happy. The redhead will use every opportunity to remind Kane of his failings, especially regarding Lily. Then, when Phyllis sees Kane and Lily looking cozy at the launch party, she could start a scene. Phyllis might tell Lily that Kane literally just told her that he wanted to move on with her. Phyllis might remind Lily that Kane can't seem to make up his mind from one day to the next. Nate Hastings and Lily Winters bond. The Young and the Restless spoilers for tomorrow's episode reveal that while Kane is dealing with Hurricane Phyllis, Nate and Lily get caught up. Nate might open up about Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, and Audra Charles Zuleika Silver. While there is chemistry between Victoria and Nate, he might wonder if it's too soon after Cole Howard's J. Eddie Peck. Lily might tell Nate that the only way to find out the answer is to ask Victoria. Nick Newman's protection methods. In light of Matt Clark, Roger Howarth being out there somewhere, Nick is taking precautions. Nick showed Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, the traps he had laid out in case Matt came to Genoa City. Next, Nick will take extreme measures to protect Sharon from Matt. This might include some extra security around the house. Nick and Sharon might want all of their kids to come home, too, just to keep them safe. However, something tells me that Matt might be able to predict Nick and Sharon's moves. The man will likely lay low for a long while, and when Schick lets their guard down, that's when he will strike, so stay tuned. Today's shocking news: The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, December 12th. Saving Sharon, Nate's conflicted, and Phyllis's fire. Genoa City is bracing for a Friday filled with explosive drama, protective instincts, and sizzling conflicts. The Abbott Communications launch party is set to be less a celebration of tech innovation and more a battlefield of deeply personal grudges. As secrets threaten to spill and hearts hang in the balance, one thing is clear. This episode of The Young and the Restless will leave no relationship unscathed and no enemy unchallenged. We have a powerful trifecta of storylines dominating the day. Nick Newman taking reckless action to safeguard Sharon Newman from the monstrous Matt Clark. Dr. Nate Hastings confiding in Lily Winters about his agonizing romantic dilemma, and Phyllis Summers lighting the fuse on a volatile showdown with Kane Ashby. Grab your strongest coffee, because the emotional fallout will be immense. The Newman saga, saving Sharon at all costs. The terrifying shadow of Matt Clark continues to hang over Genoa City, and his target remains the one woman who has suffered enough for a lifetime, Sharon Newman. The previous week saw Victor Newman, Eric Braden, launching a strategic attack on Clark, but the danger is far from over. With Sharon's son, Noah, Lucas Adams, and his new companion, Sienna, Tamara Braun, caught in the crosshairs, the tension for the Newman family is at a breaking point. On Friday, December 12th, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, decides that the time for cautious planning is over. The spoilers reveal that Nick is taking matters into his own hands to protect Sharon, and based on his family history, this move is almost guaranteed to be big, bold, and potentially illegal. Nick's reckless protector instinct. Nick's decision to act unilaterally without consulting Sharon is a classic Newman move, a chip off the old Victor block, as some would say. He is convinced that Matt Clark poses an imminent threat to Sharon's safety and peace of mind, and his protective instincts have gone into overdrive. While his heart is in the right place, Nick's history is littered with grand gestures that end in disaster. The problem? Matt Clark is a master manipulator, a ghost from Sharon's past trauma, and his connection to the current turmoil involving Noah makes him a truly dangerous wild card. Nick's mindset. Nick views Sharon case, as being too close to the danger to make a clear decision for herself. He sees his role as the necessary, decisive force, the one who must remove the threat entirely, regardless of the consequences. The fallout. Sharon has been struggling for autonomy and to manage her own fears. Nick's "you're welcome" move, which she didn't ask for, is likely to infuriate her and cause a massive rift. She needs support, not a savior who strips her of agency. Furthermore, if Nick's plan involves breaking the law or provoking Clark, it could put Sharon in more danger, creating the very crisis he is trying to prevent. We can expect a gut-wrenching scene where Nick confronts the situation, perhaps even Clark himself, with a grim determination that signals he is ready to go to the mat. The consequences will not just affect his immediate family, but could also drag Victor and the entire Newman empire into another public relations nightmare. Nick's choice to go rogue is the emotional anchor of the episode, setting up a long-term storyline where Sharon has to deal not only with the enemy she fears, but the reckless protector she loves. Nate's crossroads. A conflicted heart confides in Lily. Dr. Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, has been walking a tightrope between career ambition and personal drama for months. Fresh off the tumultuous end of his relationship with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, and navigating a complex, perhaps overly ambitious, new romance with Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, Nate is feeling the pressure. Friday's spoilers reveal a powerful, intimate moment where Nate drops his guard and confides in Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. This conversation is significant because Lily is one of the few people who has seen Nate's ambition lead him down a morally gray path and has the emotional clarity to hold him accountable or offer genuine support. The source of conflict. Nate's emotional complexity stems from his lingering feelings and his ambitious new relationship. Audra Charles. Nate's connection to Audra, while messy and manipulative, was undeniably intense. Her relentless pursuit and the drama surrounding his cousin, Audra, and the Newman family create an emotional entanglement that he can't simply cut off. His internal conflict could very well be about how to fully disentangle himself from her web. Victoria Newman. His relationship with Victoria is powerful and driven by a shared vision of corporate dominance. But is it driven by genuine love, or is it a calculated power move? Nate may be questioning the authenticity of his feelings for Victoria, or perhaps the toll her ruthless business style is taking on his personal peace. The confession. Lily, who is already dealing with her own Kane drama, is positioned as the perfect confidant. She is his cousin, a former partner in a failed business venture, and someone who understands the pressure of the Newman and Winters legacies. What Nate tells Lily, he is likely to express his profound confusion about his future. Does he stay on the path of power with Victoria, or does he pull back and try to reconnect with the moral compass he lost? He might even confess that he still feels a spark of connection with Audra, which would shock Lily and complicate her own dealings with her cousin. Lily's reaction. Lily is the epicenter of Genoa City's chaos, as the spoilers note. She'll be forced to listen, and, knowing her character, she will likely offer him a measured and honest assessment of his situation. This moment could be a turning point for Nate, either pushing him back towards his family and ethical center, or driving him further into the clutches of Newman Enterprises' endless power plays. This vulnerable conversation between Nate and Lily offers a much-needed break from the corporate and criminal drama, providing a deep, emotional look into Nate's soul. It's a key scene that could redefine his role in Genoa City moving forward. Phyllis's fire, the ultimate button pusher. If there's one character who can be counted on to turn an elegant launch party into a five-alarm blaze, it's Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. The Abbott Communications launch party, spearheaded by Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, is the setting for the final, explosive piece of Friday's drama. The central conflict here involves Phyllis, her bitter enemy Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and the ever-tolerant Lily Winters. Phyllis's motive is pure, unfiltered malice. She sees Kane trying to reconnect with Lily and decides that she must inflict maximum damage. The feud, a history of bad blood. Phyllis and Kane have been locked in a bitter feud over Kane's alleged theft of an AI program and Phyllis's subsequent deal with Victor to use it against Abo. The Abbotts have counter-strategized, but the animosity between Phyllis and Kane is personal and palpable. Phyllis's grievance. She successfully stole Kane's AI program and delivered it to Victor as part of her larger scheme to acquire Abo. Kane, naturally, has issued threats and warnings about the consequences of her actions. Phyllis, in her signature style, is not intimidated, she's provoked. Kane's focus. Kane has managed to convince Lily to attend the launch party with him, viewing it as a chance to repair their fractured relationship. For him, the evening is about hope, redemption, and a fresh start with the woman he loves. The ignition point. When Phyllis sees Kane and Lily looking cozy at the event, she completely loses control. The sight of Kane's momentary happiness is a red flag to the raging bull that is Phyllis Summers. She can't stand to see a rival succeed, especially one who has dared to threaten her. Phyllis's attack. She will utilize her most cutting wit and sharpest tongue to push Kane's buttons. This won't be a subtle shade. This will be an outright attack designed to humiliate Kane in front of Lily and ruin the entire evening. She'll likely remind him of his past misdeeds, his current failure in the AI saga, and his desperation to win back Lily. The fallout for Lane. Phyllis's intervention is perfectly timed to disrupt Kane's delicate progress with Lily. Lily, who has been softening towards Kane, will be put on the spot. Will she defend Kane, proving that their fragile reconnection is real? Or will Phyllis's biting truths force Lily to reconsider giving Kane another chance, throwing all of his efforts back into the gutter? The larger impact. This public display of aggression at the Abbott Communications party is a nightmare for Billy and Sally. It's yet another Genoa City social event derailed by personal vendettas, further underscoring the instability of the corporate landscape. Phyllis's fire is a spectacle, a thrilling display of her confidence and self-proclaimed superiority. The question isn't if she'll push Kane too far, but what devastating reaction she'll provoke and who will be caught in the inevitable explosion. The unfolding canvas of Genoa City. Friday, December 12th, is shaping up to be a pivotal episode for three of Genoa City's most dynamic couples and families. Nick and Sharon's codependent dynamic reaches a new peak of tension as Nick's protective impulse threatens to undermine Sharon's fragile recovery and independence. Their confrontation over Matt Clark will be heartbreakingly complex. Nate and Lily's cousinly bond is tested as Nate unloads his moral and romantic confusion. Lily's advice could determine Nate's future. Will he become a corporate tyrant or a man who chooses love and family? Phyllis, Kane, and Lily's love triangle ignites in a fiery public scene. Phyllis's refusal to back down and Kane's desperate plea for Lily's heart will make the Abbott Communications launch a must-see event.